Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
It's 10:59 and the 2026 Mardi Gras ship has arrived in Mobile, and a ceremony is actually happening right now to welcome the USS Farragut into the port. For over a century, Mobile has carried on the tradition of welcoming a U.S. Navy ship during Mardi Gras season. The ship arrived this morning around 10, and right now you are taking a live look at that vibrant welcome ceremony. It's a chance for sailors to experience the nation's oldest Mardi Gras celebrations. Representatives from the Navy League, and local officials will be here as well. Once it arrives, public tours will be available from tomorrow through Fat Tuesday, and you can personally see the ship daily from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The best part is no reservations will be required. Well, we will have much more on the ship's grand arrival to the port city later on today. For now, welcome into Fox 10 Midday on your Friday. I'm Ashley Mitchell.
And I'm meteorologist Hannah Fink. And I did want to add one thing. I saw on social media with these sailors coming in, you actually could have the opportunity to sign up and take 2 of them out for lunch or dinner. So I thought that was a cool opportunity and something to talk about, because I saw it on Facebook yesterday. I'm like, that is awesome. A great way to take them out to enjoy, you know, our local restaurants and seafood, you name it. I feel like that's an awesome opportunity for these young men and women, and also a great way to show off our lovely home of the port city.
Absolutely. And as you can tell, it's a nice, sunny, bit of a breezy day out there with that flag flying in the breeze. We should have a beautiful weekend as well for all of our Mardi Gras festivities.
Yes, we are tracking a rain chance right now, but luckily timing seems to be on our side with that, thankfully. It looks to be on Joe Cain Day, but it's going to be early in the morning. We'll break that down here in a minute, but right now, as you can see, beautiful weather across the Gulf Coast, some mild conditions, some of us already near 70 degrees. Trying to see some of that sunshine as we go on throughout our day. We'll see a little bit more of that this afternoon. Temperatures right now across the area: 64 degrees here in Mobile, 70 in Gulf Shores, 68 in Navarre, 64 in Evergreen, 63 in Calvert, and 64 degrees over in Lucedale. And over the next 5 hours, we'll continue to see those partly cloudy skies, a little bit more sunshine as we go on throughout our day. 72 degrees by 1 p.m., then 73 degrees by 3 p.m. And your overall weekend summary, including your Friday, overall warm and nice conditions for Friday as well as Saturday. But one thing I will say, that front we are tracking is going to bring us breezier conditions for our Saturday and a little bit more cloud coverage as well, but overall temperatures will be in the 70s. Then on Joe Cain Day, we have storms likely Sunday morning, but luckily clearing by the midday. So we're going to have that line move through around 4 or 5 a.m. It'll enter our area and start to clear out of our area around noon, bringing some gusty winds, maybe some heavy downpours and some frequent lightning as well. And another thing to note is once we have that front moving through, that means we're going to transition from a northerly wind to a southeasterly wind. So you're going to feel a little bit of that humidity, especially for our Saturday as well as our Sunday, a little bit more into that a bit humid category on our Sunday. Then we're getting into that pleasant category once that front moves out of our way. Our rain chances over the next 7 days. Luckily, we're going to be dry on Lundi Gras as well as Mardi Gras. We only have that rain chance for our Sunday at this time, and then we're going to continue to see those warmer afternoons as well. Well above average for this time of year. Usually we're in the mid 60s. You can see average is about 65 degrees this time of year. We're going to be in the lower to mid 70s across the area. We were below average the last couple of weeks, and now we're well above average, just skipping what it's supposed to be this time of year. Overall, your Mardi Gras fun for our Fat Tuesday looking great out there. Mild temperatures and partly sunny skies. More on your overall forecast and the details of your holiday coming up.
All right, thank you, Hannah. In our headlines today, as the search for Nancy Guthrie continues this morning, the FBI is releasing a description of the suspect. It all comes as the Pima County Sheriff's Office pushes back on reports that his department is blocking evidence from the FBI. Fox News senior multimedia reporter Caroline Elliott has the latest update.
It's now almost 2 weeks since Nancy Guthrie went missing, but here on the ground, investigators say they still do not have a suspect in this case. As the search for Nancy Guthrie enters day 12, investigators hope a new description of the suspect could lead to new tips in this case.
You can imagine local law enforcement had an idea of, hey, We know certain people just got released from prison. We know that certain people are good for residential burglaries. They can go now against that list.
As the investigation continues, FBI sources say behind the scenes, local and federal investigators are struggling to work together. Sources say the Pima County Sheriff's Department is blocking the agency from accessing certain evidence, including a glove found inside Nancy Guthrie's home and potential DNA. Experts say that evidence should have gone to the FBI's crime lab in Quantico.
It should have gone to the FBI lab. They are the premier place to do this.
Instead, sources say the Pima County Sheriff sent the evidence to a private lab in Florida. The sheriff now defending this decision, telling local TV station KVOA the FBI agreed with the sheriff's handling of evidence. FBI Phoenix also shared new images of the backpack worn by the suspect in the surveillance video. Investigators say it was a gray Ozark Trail hiker backpack.
What the FBI can do and what law enforcement can do is go to the manufacturer and determine where all those backpacks are sold in the area and pull the transaction data from the point of sale.
The FBI has also doubled its reward to $100,000 for any information leading to a suspect or the location of Nancy Guthrie. In Tucson, Arizona, Caroline Elliott, Fox News.
I want to directly address those in the Spanish-speaking community and let you know this case is about finding this family, not focusing on your immigration status.
Mobile County Sheriff Paul Burch is speaking out to Spanish-speaking witnesses in a desperate search for answers. Aurelia Choccock, her daughter Niurka, and son Anthony disappeared on January 31st. Right now, the main suspect, Juan Carlos Argueta Guerra, was in a courtroom this morning for an arraignment hearing and pleaded not guilty. He has been charged with 3 counts of kidnapping after investigators say he visited the house 3 times the morning the family vanished. But the family still missing this morning. His preliminary hearing is set for March 3rd. If you have any information about this case, please call the Mobile County Sheriff's Office right away. In the meantime, a woman is dead following a shooting at a home on Wesley Avenue yesterday morning. An off-duty Pritchard police officer reported the shooting and was questioned by Mobile police. The case has since been turned over to the Mobile County District Attorney's Office for further investigation. But police say the officer is not on administrative leave. It's 11:06 and we are following breaking news out of Baldwin County. 1 person is dead after a dispute between neighbors in Alberta. Investigators say it all happened around 4 a.m. bright and early this morning on Sandy Creek Drive. We're told a suspect is in custody at this hour, but that's all we know about this investigation so far. We'll pass along any and all updates on this case to you. Meanwhile, 2 people are dead and another is injured after a shooting at South Carolina State University. Here's a look back at that very active scene. We're told the campus went into a lockdown after the shooting. So far, there's still no word about a potential motive, though. The state's law enforcement division is investigating the shooting, and as new details are released, we'll pass them along to you on Fox 10 News. More military moves in the Middle East as President Trump looks to pressure Iran into negotiating limits on its nuclear program. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has the latest from Washington.
This will be very traumatic for Iran if they don't make a deal.
President Trump talking tough on Iran as negotiations to rein in the country's nuclear program remain stalled. Now the biggest aircraft carrier in the world is heading to the Middle East. The USS Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group will join the USS Abraham Lincoln, hoping to pressure Iran to get back to the bargaining table.
And we'll see if we can get a deal with them, and if we can't, we'll have to go to phase 2. Phase 2 will be very tough for them. I'm not looking for that.
But it won't be easy. Iran exchanged messages with the U.S. this week, but a new round of talks hasn't yet materialized. And officials there say a number of major sticking points remain, including Iran's ballistic missile program.
No one can do even the slightest thing against our missiles. Our missiles are not part of the negotiations, and they won't be.
The White House wants to bundle the nuclear issue together with Iran's missiles in support for proxy groups throughout the Mideast. Some experts say that's a non-starter.
The Iranians are talking nice about a deal, and I think their motivation is they want to put off this military operation, which seems inevitable, as long as they can.
But the regime is under pressure over rising prices and an increasingly brutal crackdown on dissent, raising the stakes as the White House works to restart talks. And the clock is ticking. President Trump says he wants a deal in place with Iran over the next month. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Also today, Russia launches drone strikes across Ukraine, including the port city of Odessa. Firefighters there battled heavy flames at several locations earlier today, including a power facility, the port, as well as residential and industrial infrastructure. At least one person was killed and 6 others were hurt. Ukraine's Air Force says Russia fired 1 ballistic missile and 154 long-range strike drones across the country. In the town of Drazhivka in the Donetsk region, emergency crews rescued an elderly woman from a burning house. And Cuban authorities today are telling airlines they cannot refuel on the island. The lack of fuel, a result of strict energy rationing due to the Trump administration's blockade of crude oil from Venezuela and Mexico to the island. In fact, the fuel issue may not affect shorter regional flights as badly as it will flights from Russia and Canada, which are large parts of Cuba's tourism industry. Air Canada announced Monday it would suspend flights to the island as a result, but no one knows how long the fuel shortage will remain in effect. Authorities so far have made no public comments on the matter either. And listen to this. One of Portugal's most vital roadways is dealing with several collapses due to flooding. Take a look at your screen. A section of the A1 motorway near the city of Coimbra collapsed on Friday after floodwaters burst through a levee. Coimbra is on high alert today as fears the rise in water levels could force the evacuations of around 9,000 residents. The Iberian Peninsula has been hit by a series of heavy storms in recent days, which is behind the flooding. In the meantime, a man pulled alive hours after being trapped under nearly 5 feet of snow due to an avalanche. The avalanche occurring yesterday afternoon in a section of northern Italy. This man was rescued Thursday evening by a dog trained to pick up scents by the local Alpine Rescue Corps. Take a look at that video. After being pulled from the snow, the victim was taken to a hospital, and rescuers report, thankfully, he is in good condition. Local emergency officials say fresh snowfall and windswept snow caps in recent weeks have created very risky conditions along the entire Alps crescent bordering France. It's 11:11 now on your Friday. Still to come, the Mardi Gras fun continues in full force tonight. Plus, a local organization launching a project to help restore oyster beds in Alabama. We'll have that story for you in just a moment. First, Hannah, we have a lot going on this weekend. How is the weather panning out?
The weather is going to be beautiful this weekend, warm and sunny, but we are tracking our next rain chance that's also going to bring us breezy conditions throughout the weekend. Right now, though, it's pleasant and mild. Winds are calm on our Hampton Inn camera located in Daphne. Right now, a little overcast, but by the time we get to this afternoon, a little bit more sunshine for our day. We'll have more on your overall forecast for your Friday and your holiday coming up.
Well, the Mardi Gras fun continued in downtown Mobile with the Mystic Stripers. The society first paraded in 1948 with a signature float featuring a zebra and a tiger. The 2 striped animals that inspired the name, and it's stuck around ever since. This year's theme, Livin' the Dream, rolled out 17 elaborate floats designed by Mark Calametti's Gumbo Specialties and built by Craig Stevens Carnival Artists. Masked riders didn't hold back on the throws, beads, candy, stuffed animals, and so much more raining down on the crowds.
My birthday passed and I had to work, so I figured why not come here for my birthday weekend.
What a great way to spend it tonight. Mardi Gras fun only continues with parades in Mobile and Baldwin counties. It'll be the Crew of Columbus and Crew to Second Line on Route A in downtown Mobile, with the Maids of Jubilee that will roll through downtown Fairhope. All of those parades begin at 6:30 p.m. tonight. And here's a heads up for you. Mardi Gras parking restrictions are now in effect on Dearborn Street and Warrant Street. That's between Government Street and St. Francis Street downtown. The purple and gold Mardi Gras parking signs are everywhere and have been installed in these areas. And no on-street parking will be allowed 2 hours before or 2 hours after any parade in downtown Mobile. These temporary restrictions are necessary to ensure proper traffic flow and maintain access to Conti Street, which serves as a primary travel route for first responders. And be sure again to be on the lookout for those gold and purple no parking signs through downtown. This is what they look like on your screen. Parking restrictions again are in effect 2 hours before, during, and after every parade. And you really want to pay attention to this because violators will be towed. Towed vehicles go to the temporary impound lot under the I-10 overpass on Water Street. The temporary impound lot closes at 10 p.m. every parade day, and when it closes, towed vehicles will be moved to the permanent impound lot, which is located on Virginia Street. And on this day in history, February 13th in 1866, Mobile brought Mardi Gras back to life after the Civil War. Joe Cain himself paraded through downtown dressed as a fictional Indian chief he dubbed Slacka Bamarinico, or known as Chief Slack. That celebration has lived on ever since, and now we celebrate Joe Cain Day on the Sunday before Fat Tuesday. But Mobile's connection to Carnival runs much deeper. The city, founded in 1702, celebrated America's very first Mardi Gras in 1703, and that's why Mobile is the birthplace of Mardi Gras.
Taking a live look outside over at Pensacola Beach. A nice sunny sky out there, not much cloud coverage. It was a little overcast this morning, but luckily as we go into this afternoon, a lot more sunshine for our forecast. Looking great out there, and the warm weather is going to continue on for the rest of our Mardi Gras season. We are tracking our next rain chance though, unfortunately, and it looks to be on Joe Cain Day. But on the bright side, timing looks to be on our side. We'll break that down in just a moment, but forecast highs today, 73 here in Mobile, 70 in Gulf Shores, 74 in Milton, 73 in Evergreen, 72 in Chatham, 75 in Lucedale, and 69 for a high over in Fairhope. And for our afternoon, partly cloudy skies. Like I mentioned, we'll see a little bit more sunshine, lower to mid 70s across the area. Feeling great out there, maybe a little bit more humidity as we get into the evening hours because we're going to have a southerly wind come in thanks to that front moving through this weekend. But for your parade forecast, although it might be a little humid, it's overall going to be pleasant and nice, mostly clear skies by 6:30 p.m. for a Crew of Columbus and Crew Day Second Line parade located at Route A in downtown Mobile. 65 degrees then the Maids of Jubilee in Fairhope at 6:30. A nice and mild night temperatures near 63 degrees. Now for our forecast lows tomorrow morning. Still above average for this time of year, 52 for a low in Mobile tomorrow morning, 51 in Pensacola, 46 in Brewton, 48 in Grove Hill, 49 in Chatham, 50 in Lucedale, and 46 over in Molino. Your parade forecast for your Saturday looking good overall during the day, especially at noon. Temperatures will be in the lower 70s. By the time we get to 6 o'clock, we'll be in the mid 60s. One thing I will know, it's going to be breezy. We're going to have about 15 to 20 mile per hour wind gusts because of that front moving through and increasing cloud coverage as that front approaches our area. So we do have a lingering rain chance after the 8 o'clock hour. Speaking of rain chances over the next 5 days, we could see some lingering showers ahead of that front. That's why we have limited rain chances during our Saturday, especially into the evening hours. During the dinner time hours, we could see a rogue shower, but really we have the 80% chance during the early morning hours on Saturday. Really about 4 a.m. is when we'll start to see that line move through, maybe some showers ahead of it around 2, 3 a.m. Then we have a 20% chance for a rogue shower too behind that front. Luckily, we're going to be dry for our Monday and Tuesday. So let's break that down on our future cast as we go on. Our Friday looking good. Not much cloud coverage either. As we go into our Saturday, you can kind of see that wind shift out of the southeast, so that's going to bring in some humidity for us around noon. Maybe a rogue shower or two during Saturday, especially around 5, 6, 7 o'clock. We could see that, but really most of us will stay dry. Then as you saw, that batch of showers right ahead of that front around 1, 2, 3 a.m., but this line starts to enter our area around 4:35 a.m., and that'll continue to make its way through the Fox 10 viewing area, making its way into northwest Florida around 7, 8 a.m., and then making its way out of our area around around 11 a.m. noon. Could see some showers right behind it as well, but the majority of the gusty winds, frequent lightning, maybe a chance for some small hail and a brief tornado spin up or two could be in that line. But really, with it being in the early morning hours, the chances of that are quite low, just because we don't have things like daytime heating to fuel up these thunderstorms. But because of the time of the year, we do have a little bit of instability in the air. And as you can see, some lingering showers around 2:30. But overall, we're going to have a great day for our Sunday. Then we transition to a northerly wind, and that'll bring us some cooler and drier air, less humidity. I brought up those wind gusts. As you can see, this is our forecast wind gusts into our Saturday, about 15 to 20 mile per hour wind gusts around 2. Then they'll slowly increase as we get into the overnight hours on our Saturday, about 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts. But really, when that front approaches our area, that's when we'll increase to about 25 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts in the early morning hours on Sunday around 6 a.m. And then we do have that marginal risk for severe weather for the things I did mention, which is really just going to be some gusty winds and heavy downpours. Luckily, though, we are in a drought, so we could use some healthy rainfall across the area. About a half of an inch to an inch of rain is expected with the system across the area. We're going to continue to see those warmer afternoons ahead, well above average in the lower to mid 70s, and that's going to stay consistent over the next 10 days. So luckily for our 7-day forecast and for our Mardi Gras season, we're going to continue to have that nice weather, sunny weather, especially for our Lundi Gras and Mardi Gras. We do have that rain chance, but luckily it is in the early morning hours, so maybe move your plans back by a few hours on Sunday.
All right, good reminders there, Hannah. Thanks for that update. Well, a local organization is launching a project to help restore oyster beds here in Alabama. The Alabama Commercial Fishermen's Association launching phase 1 of its project. Fishermen planted shells all along Heron Bay. The planting actually helps the reef cultivate more oyster spats, leading to cleaner water and, of course, a better ecosystem.
It's good to tend to your reefs, kind of like a garden, like a farmer does. And planting shells has been proven to be very beneficial to the reproduction of oysters.
It's something we need to been done a long time ago. Fishermen knows the reefs, we know where to plant them, and we just got to get out there and do it.
Now, officials say those participating in the project are volunteers. They take time out of their day and actually use their own money to help. It's 11:24 now, and this week's We the People, our Lee Peck shows us how volunteers are making sure to keep the ground up at the Alabama State Veterans Memorial Cemetery. That story and much more is next, only on Fox 10 Midday. Since opening in 2013, nearly 5,000 veterans have been laid to rest at the Alabama State Veterans Memorial Cemetery in Spanish Fort. And this week's We the People, Arlie Peck tells you about the veterans who are keeping up the grounds.
Tucked away off State Highway 225 in Spanish Fort is sacred ground.
The first one that we buried was Mr. Carpenter, but Ronnie Burrell, I set his headstone. The very first headstone that I had ever set.
Kathy Miller was here when the Alabama State Veterans Memorial Cemetery opened, helping later rest the first veterans. This is where it all started.
We came out, we had the 2 on the end, and that was all that we had, and then the others came in, but Ronnie Burrell, I set that one personally.
Retired after 22 years with the Air Force, Kathy worked her way up from groundskeeper to now serving as assistant director. It's a job that's personal and lets her continue to serve her veteran community.
You have to have a heart of compassion and a lot of caring to know that some of these men and women we served with, that I served with, and it's no greater honor than to be the last person that lays them to rest.
More than 4,800 veterans have been interred here.
Got to fly and got to see the whole world, basically, in a helicopter.
Among the 4 groundskeepers is veteran Brad Gravitt. He's been here a year and a half. From mowing to edging, he'll tell you there's always something to be done on the 8 acres they meticulously maintain.
Not too difficult to do, but we get it done.
For Brad, the work is about providing respect and dignity to those who've served.
It's wonderful. I enjoy it. I get to do the outside work all day, which I enjoy, and helping the families that come out and need help finding a grave.
Always emotional to see, they'll also tell you the 21 gun salute never gets old.
It's with great honor that we get to see the military branches with their 21 salute out here firing almost on a daily basis.
Proud of their work and their service, they encourage the younger generation to also answer the call.
If there's anyone that is not sure what career path they want to take, you know, you've got a lot of high school kids that are graduating. They're not really sure what they want to do. Serve your country. There's no greater country in the world.
And no greater calling for these veterans. In Spanish Fort, Lee Peck, Fox 10 News.
Thank you for making Fox 10 Midday a part of your Friday. Straight ahead, Airbnb sees strong demand for premium stays. We have that story and more in your business headlines. Plus, a special day at Robertsdale Elementary School. It's Hub Day. Our Stephen Moody tells us all about it when we come back.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
Welcome back. Turning now to your Friday half-hour headlines today. The Department of Homeland Security is on the brink of a shutdown after Democratic senators voted to block a bill to fund the agency Thursday. Democrats are attempting to use the limited legislative leverage they have in an effort to force changes to immigration and customs enforcement operations. Among the demands, restrictions on roving patrols, more use of judicial warrants, tougher use of force policies, and requirements for agents to wear body cameras and remove their masks. And then Don Lemon is expected to appear in a Minnesota courtroom today. The independent journalist will be arraigned on charges related to a protest at a church in St. Paul. Prosecutors say he was part of a, quote, takeover-style attack where protesters entered the sanctuary during a service. He will face 2 federal charges related to violating First Amendment rights. But Lemon insists he was only covering the protest and did not participate. He has vowed to fight the case. We'll bring you updates here. And then finally, Ring is calling off its partnership with a police surveillance tech company amid backlash over a Super Bowl ad. The company announced that it will no longer work with Flock Safety, and the split comes after Ring ran an ad during the Super Bowl highlighting its Search Party feature, which uses artificial intelligence to scan neighborhoods in situations like finding lost pets. Well, the ad raised privacy concerns for many on social media. Ringson says it determined that the partnership would need more time and resources than it expected. And in our business headlines today, inflation showed signs of cooling in January. Airbnb sees strong demand for premium stays. Car buyers are scaling back some, and why Steak 'n Shake is ditching microwaves. Fox's CJ Papa has those stories and more in today's Fox Business Briefs.
A sign inflation is cooling. Price increases moderated in January. The Consumer Price Index rose just 0.2% for the month and 2.4% on an annual basis. Both numbers showed improvement and were below economists' predictions. The improvements in the reading are especially encouraging, since the January reading is often skewed by companies raising prices at the start of the year following the holiday season. Airbnb's profit declined in recent months from a year earlier. Its earnings were weaker than forecast, though it had expenses related to expanding. Airbnb has started partnering with boutique hotels in some locations and has been offering more experiences along with vacation rentals. High prices for new cars are pushing Americans to opt out of fancy versions of models, instead choosing a basic option. Reuters says affordable cars have not been this hot for decades. Cox Automotive tells Reuters average prices are around $50,000. Many fully loaded models cost more than many buyers can or want to spend. And fast food chain Steak 'n Shake is banning all microwaves from its restaurants by April 15th. It says it's to improve food quality and use traditional methods of cooking only. CJ Papa, Fox News.
Taking a live look outside, this time at Fairhope Pier, looking great out there. Not much of a breeze right now. Winds are calm for the most part for our Friday. That will change into our weekend, and the sunshine is trying to poke through. We will have partly cloudy skies. We did have a little bit more of an overcast look this morning, but luckily we'll see more sunshine as we go into the lunchtime hours. But current conditions across the area, Mobile Regional 64 degrees over in Fairhope, 64 degrees as well, 64 in Evergreen, and 66 over in Pensacola. And today Today, once again, not a surprise, it's going to be warmer than it usually is. This time of year, we have about 65 degrees for a high, but we're forecasting 73 for a high. Even our low this morning was above average by about 5 degrees. Feels a little bit more like spring than February for this time of year. And as we make our way out the door over the next few hours, temperatures are going to continue to climb into the 70s, lower to mid 70s throughout the lunchtime hours. We will transition to a southeasterly and a southerly wind. Now, what does that mean exactly? It'll bring in more of that warm Gulf moisture, so that means it's going to feel a little bit more humid for our parades this evening. So forecast for the entirety of the Gulf Coast area broken down by location: 67 for a high in Pascagoula, 75 in Hurley, and 73 over in Leakesville. Moving into our inland areas, we'll have a high of 72 in Jackson, 71 in Fruitdale, 70 in in Thomasville, 71 in Beatrice, 71 in Evergreen, 73 in Bruton, and 73 over in Atmore. Moving into Mobile and Baldwin County, we'll have a high of 73 here in Mobile, 72 in Theodore, 72 in Citronelle, 74 in Bay Minette, 73 in Robertsdale, and 70 in Gulf Shores. Moving into Northwest Florida, we'll have a high of 73 in Milton, 69 in Pensacola, 74 in Walnut Hill, 74 in Crestview, and 69 over in Fort Walton Beach. For your evening planner, temperatures will be in the mid-60s by 6 p.m., which is great weather for the parades we are having across the Gulf Coast here in downtown Mobile and across the bay over in Fairhope. As we continue to go on through our evening, temperatures will be in the upper 50s by 8 p.m. with clear skies. Could see some fog though into the overnight hours, so that's something to keep in mind if you're out on the road super late or getting on the road super early tomorrow morning. But overall, partly to mostly clear skies tonight, 52 degrees, no chance for rain, southeasterly wind around 4 miles per hour, so a little bit more on the humid side compared to last night. And our next rain chance will be this weekend. A 20% chance on Saturday for a lingering shower ahead of that front moving through, but the front approaches our area on Sunday early in the morning on Joe Cain Day, so there's that 80% chance there. Luckily that we dry out for Lundi Gras as well as Mardi Gras and into the week to come. But here's a look at our futurecast. To give you an idea of timing, do keep in mind fine-tuning the timing exactly is not really going to be perfect until we get closer to Sunday morning itself. Probably have a better idea Saturday night, but for right now, it's staying pretty consistent on all of our models. We could see some fog into the overnight hours, then Saturday around noon we have that southeasterly wind continuing. We're gonna have gusty winds as well, about 15 to 20 mile per hour wind gusts. Could see some lingering showers ahead of that front around the late dinner time hours into the late evening hours. Then we'll continue to go on. Could see some showers ahead of this front moving through right here, moving in around 2-3 a.m. and then the front itself moving in around 4-5 a.m. This could bring some gusty winds, heavy downpours, some frequent lightning, small hail. There's a possibility of it. A brief tornado spin up or two also is possible. Really, that marginal risk of severe weather that is issued for the entirety of the area is really for some gusty winds and heavy downpours, as this is in the early morning hours, so the severe threat is on the lower end. This will clear out around noon. Then we could see some lingering showers right behind it, but overall, Joe Cain Day is looking dry after that northerly wind starts to settle into our area. And luckily, we're going to have about half an inch to an inch of rain from the system, a nice healthy downpour as we are still in that drought risk across the area.
Good to know, Hannah. Thank you. Well, Robertsdale Elementary School was filled with hugs this morning, all for a wonderful cause. Over 1,000 students participated in the 5th annual Hug Day, a fundraiser dedicated to helping the Baldwin County Child Advocacy Center. Fox 10's Stephen Moody shows us how these students are spreading lots of love and even supporting children in need.
You didn't need to go far to see a hug or a high five here at Robertsdale Elementary School. Over 1,000 students lined up to make their donations and to get candy, all for a great cause, the help to Baldwin County Child Advocacy Center.
Bringing joy to these children and supporting our community. And that's what we're doing. All the children here and the staff and our visitors are donating money for the Baldwin County Child Advocacy Center. And all the money goes to Care House to help, provide services for these students in the community.
And the theme of the day was Disney, with teachers and students dressing up as their favorite characters. Stitch and Olaf joined the party, and even Vader gave out a few hugs, and students were excited to help out.
It's a really fun day to celebrate. We get to see all the kids donating and how happy they are to be helping out.
All to teach these students that they can help out and have fun at the same time.
Children are the future. We are here to protect the children. As adults, we need to make sure children are protected and taken care of. And I hope that we can put more emphasis on Care House and more organizations that serve our children that are in need.
Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
Well, baseball season is officially in the air. 28 high school teams, 18 from Mobile and 10 from Baldwin County for the inaugural High School Baseball Media Night. Head coaches and players from classes 1A through 7A taking their turns at the mic, previewing the 2026 season and sharing their excitement for opening day. But one of the biggest storylines this year is the Alabama High School Athletic Association's decision to separate public and private schools during playoffs. Faith Academy head coach Matt Seymour and Mobile Christian head coach Stu Fuller shared their thoughts on the move.
My job is to take care of my team and my staff and make sure they're ready to play regardless to who we're playing.
Our enrollment right now puts us at about a 2A school and we're playing 5A baseball. If that'll tell you whether it's fair, whether it's not fair, that's not my call.
But beyond the debates, the night was really all about the players. And with opening day right around the corner, they say first pitch can't come soon enough. Straight ahead on Fox 10 Midday, TikTok is going local. We'll explain. Plus, a hidden piece of history is found in a New York mansion. Your Midday Talkers are right after this. Welcome back. Listen to this. Hidden history was discovered in New York City.
This may look like an ordinary piece of furniture, but this built-in chest of drawers holds a centuries-old secret.
Preservationists making a remarkable discovery hidden inside the Merchant House on East 4th Street, located in Lower Manhattan.
Interesting. In the 19th century, this mansion was a private home. Now it's a museum.
Historians finding an actual stop on the Underground Railroad.
Wow. The Underground Railroad was a secret network of safe houses used to help slaves trying to get to freedom.
The narrow 2 feet square space is believed to have been secretly constructed in 1832 by the home's original owner, an abolitionist named Joseph Brewster.
It drops down 15 feet to the first floor, but they believe at one time it went all the way to the basement.
Wow, what a find. Imagine stumbling
really cool.
on this. It's already a museum, I suppose, and I can't imagine just if the walls could talk, seriously, what would they say?
That is the first thought I had, was that imagine stumbling upon that, and then you just kind of have to, obviously you can't really ask questions to anybody, especially this late into it and it already being a museum, but there's a lot of history that goes into that.
But what a treasure. Very neat there. Well, your TikTok feed is about to get real local, Hannah.
TikTok says it is launching a local feed which will feature users to opt into.
The company says it will use precise GPS location data to customize localized content related to small businesses, travel, events, restaurants, shopping, the things that are unique to your area.
Once a user activates the feature, it will show up as a tab in their home screen. I can get into this. I am really excited about this.
Yeah, very cool. TikTok notes if the feature is set to off, it will not collect your GPS location.
TikTok says local feeds will not be available to minors.
This is a really good idea. We enjoy our TikToks as well. We enjoy being on our accounts, and honestly, I will say, I've said this multiple times, I've discovered a lot of great restaurants, recipes, things that are located here on the Gulf Coast because of TikTok, especially.
Yes, and honestly, I feel like it's a good way to incorporate, Facebook has features like that where you can look at local events. I think it's a really good idea that TikTok is doing that, especially since usually younger audiences are on TikTok. And what better way to get people involved in local communities, local culture, local food, restaurants than through TikTok.
And you get those real raw reviews from people who are going to these attractions, restaurants, you name it. So pretty cool. They're excited for that. Valentine's Day, it's tomorrow, maybe for lovers, but that's not until Saturday.
In the meantime, happy Galentine's Day.
Happy Galentine's Day, Hannah. The pseudo holiday celebrated February 13th comes from a 2010 episode of Parks and Recreation.
I love that show, but since then, it's been embraced by single women across the land.
Yeah, a typical Galentine's Day celebration includes brunch with women friends and plenty of drinks.
But it can also be celebrated alone, doing things that make you happy.
More than 1/3 of all women in the U.S. aren't partnered.
Now we just need some sort of anti-Valentine's Day for the single guys out there.
Yeah, what's that all about? We don't have a Guy-Valentine's Day at this point?
I mean, they get the Super Bowl.
Crazy.
Right?
Yeah, they get a lot of other
They get
days.
the Super Bowl.
You know, that is such a good point, for
They
sure.
had it last weekend.
Yeah, you're so right. They get multiple days. I will say I had a great Galentine's celebration last week. One of my friends hosted, and it was so fun. We had like a flower bouquet making bar area, which was really cool. She's the best host. Like, it looked like something straight out of Pinterest.
Usually what me and my group of girls do is we usually do some sort of like soup, or like last year we did grilled cheese and tomato soup. Then we had little baskets and we did little paintings.
That's
for
so
our
fun.
thing.
Hannah put a cookie on my desk earlier for Galentine's Day, so
I
thank you.
did.
I just got to get you a Valentine. Listen, it's 11:50 now on your Friday. Thanks so much for staying with us, Hannah. We're taking a live look outside. Where?
This is a look from our Daphne camera, and we are taking a live look outside towards downtown Mobile. Looking great out there, finally seeing some of that sunshine. Traffic is looking great as well, but if you're getting out on the roadways for your lunchtime break, make sure you pack your patience and be prepared for any unexpected delays. We'll have more on your overall forecast coming up after these messages.
Bad breakup, lonely Valentine's Day? Well, one Atlanta Rage Room says, don't get mad, get destructive. Offering spurned lovers and lonely hearts alike a smashing good outlet for venting frustration. Jeremy Roth has it all in today's Take a Look at This.
A famously spurned wedding singer once lamented his relationship woes by proclaiming, and while a wedding reception was probably neither the time nor the place to make such a salty stand, this so-called Rage Room in Georgia is the perfect venue to vent your Valentine's Day venom. According to WANF, for 3 years, Total Rage ATL in Powder Springs has provided a safe space for frustrated folks to break free and, more importantly, break stuff. Owner Dion Holmes says he sees all types of customers, whether it's men and women getting over bad breakups, or couples just looking to vent unspoken stress or share a unique, albeit destructive, date. But no matter the clientele looking to turn the page with a little rage, Holmes says business is always a boomin' come Valentine's Day. In Alaska, organizers at a musk ox farm put their heads together and came up with a very unique V-Day idea. They created online dating profiles for several members of their herd, and the results are equal parts amazing and a-grazing. See, it is funny because they are grazing. Okay. KTUU reports amongst the eligible foxy oxen at the musk ox farm in Palmer are Bumblebee, described as an independent lady, and Pixie Sticks, who enjoys a good novel and a warm blanket. The profiles are all in good fun and part of plenty of Valentine's season activities planned at the farm, including an ox kissing booth, which the farm says they are legally obligated to tell you is for looks only. Probably for the best. Something tells me a kiss from a musk ox would be more, musk than ox. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
I love it. No matter how you feel on Valentine's Day, we know that the weather at least is going to be pretty nice, so that's something to celebrate.
Yes, it will. For your weekend summary overall, today it's going to be warm and nice. It's going to be warm and nice for your Saturday as well. We do have a small rain chance, though, mainly into the late dinner time hours, closer to the overnight hours. And then we're tracking our next front that moves through. That'll move through early Sunday morning on your Joe Kane Day. So luckily, it'll be out of the area by Sunday afternoon. So really, you'll probably just want to move some of your plans back a few hours, and then it might be raining while you're on your way to church. But overall, for your 7-day forecast and for your Lunar Gras and Mardi Gras, it's going to be dry out there, lower 70s and mild mornings as well. We're going to continue to be in this above average pattern, and we will dry out by the time we get to Monday.
All right, well, happy Friday, happy Galentine's, happy Mardi Gras, happy all the things.
Happy everything.
Yes, thanks for watching Fox 10 Midday. See you at 3 p.m.